Welcome to Thriving Beyond, the podcast with stories of thriving through when the obstacles are far from few. Here's your host, whose own story has been featured in Chicken Soup for the Soul, Vidal Cisneros Jr.
Welcome back to Thriving Beyond. I'm excited. Today we are with Amanda Rivera. And Amanda is an influencer and PR coach who helps millennial entrepreneurs become thought leaders in their space through leveraging influencer marketing, pitching big media, and doing the inner mindset work. She's also the host of the Forbes featured Millennial Thought Leaders Mastermind Facebook group and believes in empowering the next generation of global leaders into their consistent greatness so as a collective we can bring healing where there is suffering. Oh, I love this. Hope where there is doubt. Amen. And courage where there is fear in the world. Yes, speak it. I'm preaching now. Amanda holds a master's in corporate public relations and has been seen in Forbes, the Huffington Post, Mind Body Green, Soul and Spirit Magazine, and Forbes Under 30 podcast channel. Welcome to Thriving Beyond. Holy cow, you are highly decorated, Amanda. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
I know you're super passionate about helping people. And what is the one thing that you can sum up that you do in the world in one sentence for the Thrive Nation listening?
I help young leaders step into their greatness and create a ripple effect so that people don't feel like they're alone in the world.
Oh, Amanda,
helping people feel seen and heard for who they truly are deep down.
Okay.
Like at the core of everything that I do, it's really helping people feel like they're not alone in the world and that they're feeling seen and heard for who they truly are.
Oh, I'm loving this. This is going to be a great episode. So make sure you subscribe and download this episode if you have not done so. So thank you for listening to Thriving Beyond podcast. And Amanda, we love talking about rituals in the beginning of every single guest segment. So is there a morning ritual or, for that fact, any ritual that you implement during the day that helps get you fired up and ignited?
Yes. Okay. So I'm like a huge nature walker. So before I get any writing done or like reach out to clients or put anything out there, I put my sneakers on and I just go for a really long walk. And what this does is it helps me get really mindful and it helps me get into the right space, the right flow state. So then I can step into my day and create.
Amen. Step into your day and create in flow state. Oh, you're speaking Thrive Nation's language. We're all about the flow state and overcoming adversity, right? Because that's what happens when we're thriving, we're evolving, growing, going through that adversity. So this is where we dive into your toughest life storm that you face. So if you could paint that picture and give us the global 40,000 view from up above, and then bring us down to the curbside daily view of how it looked, felt, and just be honest with us, be transparent as possible, because transparency is the key to giving us connection. So please share, and thank you so much for being on the show.
You know, what's really beautiful is I was literally just having this conversation with a client because we were diving deep into our support systems and how we show up in entrepreneurship. And when I first became an entrepreneur, I did not feel supported in my journey. I didn't feel supported in my choice to step into entrepreneurship. I was telling him, like, when I first became an entrepreneur, I was literally in screaming matches with my parents, and they they kept going on and on saying, you know, when are you going to quit? Like, when are you, obviously this isn't working for you. I just want you to be stable and have like a real job. And it was in the first 3 years of being an online entrepreneur and just like DIYing everything, trying to figure it out, feeling emotional hot mess because my parents went through a really nasty divorce and they put me in the middle of it. You know, losing my cousin who I was really close to. She died like at a young age. So she was 24. I was like 22 at the time. And it just made me realize I was just in this like really big existential life crisis, just trying to figure everything out on my own. And I think the key thing that I learned, like taking a step back and looking back on it, was me trying to do it all on my own was my biggest mistake. And that was the biggest act of non-self-love that I gave myself, was trying to do it all on my own, trying to be the expert, try to put on this like facade that I have it all together. Like that was where I really hurt myself the most on the journey. And it wasn't until I really just started diving deep into like, you know what? I don't have all the answers. I don't know what my next step is, but what I do know is that with the right support system, I can do anything. Like with the right people around me, I can do anything. With asking for help, I can do anything, because that means I don't have to know how to build websites or like do like all this crazy marketing or be like a photographer or do all this stuff. I can like ask for people who are experts in those areas help me in where I need support and need help. And so like for me, like I went through really bad depression in college. I was just like, my emotions, I was always an emotional roller coaster growing up. I was literally, something bad would happen in my life and I would just get knocked down so hard, and I'd get knocked down for months, and I'd just like harp on every little thing. And like for me, having a really strong support system, and also a really strong support system within yourself, where you start forgiving yourself for like everything you did in your past and stop looking at stuff as mistakes and started looking at it as learning lessons, that like shifted everything for me. And I was just telling one of my clients, like, because he was asking my advice on something, and I told him, I was like, change can happen in an instant, but it also takes time to nurture. And he was like, what do you mean by that? What? I don't get it. And I was like, okay, let me explain. Because, it took me years to get to a place within myself, within my mindset, within my heart, within my soul, so that within the last 4 months, I could get featured in Forbes. I could get featured in Mind Body Green, get featured in Huffington Post. I can now I just spoke with a BBC News journalist, and they're about to be doing a feature on me. I just added a whole bunch of like TEDx speakers. I have an Inc. 500 entrepreneur in my Facebook group. I just woke up yesterday to 45 member requests in one day for my Facebook group. And like my business is really booming. I'm getting clients. I'm about to be launching my signature program, and I already have like a ton of applications, and I know it's going to be going on waitlist soon. And all of that happened, like on the outside, you see that and you're like, wow, she did all that in like 4 months. But what really happened was it was years of shifting who I was inside so I can become the person who could do that in 4 months.
Oh man, Amanda, you get me fired up already. And I'm over here drawing. Okay, I like to doodle. Okay, so I don't know if you're into doodling, but
I'm obsessed with doodling.
Wow.
I have a journal right here too.
We just synced up right there during this episode. So Thrive Nation, you witnessed it. No, let me get into my doodling. Okay, so this is what I drew. I drew a couple spheres. So everybody listening, picture 3 spheres. So you have depressed, right? You talked about depression and all the stuff that just makes you feel like, blah, right?
Yep.
All right, because I felt like that a couple days ago, overcoming this little illness. But anyway, so first sphere, depression and just feeling blah. Second sphere, shift. Okay, because there has to be a transformation to get you out of that whole mindset. Okay, so first sphere, depression. Second sphere, shift. Then you mentioned something very important, nurturing, the nurture sphere / AKA quotes support system, right? So we've all had these same experiences when we're trying to chase anything that we want and is against the status quo, right? So I don't want to get into cliches because I'm all about non-cliches, all right? I'm done with the cliches. So let's keep it simple, okay? So being depressed sucks. Shift ignites this new life that you've created and you are lit up. It is coming through this freaking audio, this podcast episode loud and clear. You're happy you're in a great place because of the nurturing. You've gotten there. So let's get into some of why it took this long and some of the negative mindsets, what they were saying, how that felt, and what was some of the coping mechanisms that you grabbed onto because of past programming.
Yep. Okay, so perfect. So, okay, I literally have a journal where I write down all my negative beliefs and then I replace it with a ton of like positive beliefs. So that it's the ultimate refusal of the bullshit story. But pretty much the main thought I had, especially in the first 3 years of entrepreneurship, was I'm not worthy. And what's funny is my name, when you do the meaning of the name Amanda, it means deserving of love. It's inherently, it means worthiness. And that was one of the biggest life lessons that I had to learn and that I have to consistently practice as well is worthiness. It's feeling worthy. It's feeling ready. It's feeling deserving. It's feeling this is for me. I have like a master's in corporate PR, so that I'm like damn good when it comes to PR. Like one of my clients, I got her into Vice magazine and she had 400 followers on Instagram. She went to so many different publicists, PR consultants, and coaches, and each and every one of her told her, you can't get like a high level book proposal or you can't get featured in big media until you have like a really big social media following, right? So I told her that was the biggest lie they told her. And so I got her into Vice magazine, and now she ended up getting pitched by a TV producer, and now she's in the negotiations for her own TV show at a major network. So I don't believe in like limits. But what was messing me up in my business before like I fully switched into my coaching, this new coaching niche, and like honoring where my strengths were, was believing that everyone else deserved success except myself. So I was the type of person who was doing intros between like editors of magazines and going, oh my gosh, you have to meet this person. But I wasn't doing that for myself. I was not doing that for myself because I was like, oh, well, maybe I need to do more. I need to have my website more perfect before I start pitching media, or maybe I need to have way more clients before I can start pitching media. Like I didn't want to be like called out. And I had this ultimate like imposter syndrome going on, which was crazy because if you looked at the results that I got for my clients and for the people in my circle, you would think like, what the heck? Like this girl like has this much worthiness issues. And I had so much worthiness issues, and I had to really, really commit to shifting every negative thought that stopped me. Like I had a negative thought that, that I was never going to get like high-end coaching clients and that I was always going to be the cheap solution. And so then I had to shift that thought and go, how is that true? How is that possible? Life is constantly changing and moving and evolving. Are you really putting your stake in the ground and saying that this is going to be your reality? And I'm like, no, I don't want that to be my reality. And then it was like shifting it and saying, okay, then that's not your reality anymore. You're going to be the high level coach for high level millennial thought leaders. All right, you want to do that? And I'm like, hell yeah, I want to do that. And then you just keep shifting and keep shifting. And then you're going to have weeks where you're going to just feel tired and drained and burnt out. And then those are the weeks when you're most sensitive to getting into these depressive and negative thoughts. And then you can end up going down the downward spiral of feeling like shit. But it's another thing I've learned too is to just have patience with myself and say, that's just a phase. That's not my real reality. My real reality is 90% of the time I'm positive and upbeat. And it's okay if 10% of the time I don't feel like doing something, or if I feel a little low, or if I feel like freaking human, I'm allowed to be human. And I think that's one of the biggest stressors out there in this industry right now is everybody's in this extreme compare and despair.
Oh
and when
my gosh.
you start looking through your and when you start looking through your Facebook feed, you see this person get featured in Forbes, and this person just had a 10K month, and this person just like ended up launching their signature program. And you got to realize, and this is a mindset shift that I think is so powerful for whoever's listening to this right now, you got to realize is that everybody's sharing their wins at different times. And you got to think, this person who shared this win this week didn't have a win last week, but they're sharing it this week. And because it's such a crowded space, it looks like every time you hop onto Facebook or wherever, you're seeing wins constantly. But you got to also get into the mindset that people are 10 times more likely to share their wins than they are to share their failures. Like, who wants to be on Facebook all day saying, like, I woke up today and I had like snot on my face because I was just crying about myself, like, and I just felt like shit. Like, like nobody's gonna be posting that every day.
Right.
Like, but people who go through that, even like freaking Tony Robbins, Oprah, Elon Musk, whoever, like, they're gonna have their shitty days too. But we just see their wins. We just see their highlight reel.
Right. Right. And it's all about humanizing everything. Just know that they started from rock bottom. They started with episode 1. If we just rewind to Oprah's first episode, come on now. You want to see her hair? You want to see at what level she was at? Well, you're probably not going to find it because it was a pilot. So just think of that. Just know that stuff you're never going to find. And if you do find it, please watch it and know that they sucked horribly. And that's okay. We're humanizing our content. When you humanize yourself and you step into this imperfection and you're okay with it, there is no false perception that I have to look like the chick on Style or the dude on GQ. Just know that imposter syndrome is going to keep you imprisoned until you release yourself and step into the imperfection that you are mother effing human and own it. There's nothing wrong with that. So when you're ready to share your story in all its glory and not so good glory, quote unquote, then you're really going to be human and you're going to step up and you're going to empower not only yourself, but others that know that you are special, that you have something worthy within you. So the imposter syndrome is always going to hold back a creator. That is resistance. So if you're looking for a great book, I've mentioned this on other episodes, The War of Art, Stephen Pressfield, read it a couple times. I listened to it through Audible, and it is a no holds barred, just punch in the gut to tell you, stop being a little, you know what, and just get it done. Like, everybody goes through the same shift. Nothing.
Same with Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. She talks about the fear of creating.
There you go. See, there's nothing that has been created in our human existence that hasn't been felt before by another human. Like, are you kidding me? We live on a planet that's 8, 9, 10 billion people. Someone's going through it. So just be okay with it. Right?
And you know what was this really, really beautiful quote? I was listening to Elizabeth Gilbert's podcast, Magic Lessons, and she was interviewing someone on this. And I just feel like really called to share it with you guys because I have a feeling like somebody's like dealing with this fear right now. Is a lot of times we get into perfectionism over our creative work and we don't feel like sharing it, or we don't feel like getting ourselves more visible or putting ourselves more out there, or like building our platform, because we get this anxiety around sharing our stuff and then having it getting attacked or having our name thrown through the mud because people like misinterpret what we meant or what we were trying to say. And one of the people she interviewed made a really good point was, you can't be the creator and the lawyer at the same time. So you can't create a piece of content and then publish it and then be the lawyer and being like defending it. You just got to create it and put it out there, and then don't worry about defending your work. It stands as is. And I think that that's a huge limiting belief that stops a lot of entrepreneurs, stops a lot of creatives from really, really stepping up in their space, because that anxiety of having to defend your work.
Amen. This is, you're getting me so lit up. I'm trying to hold back a rant, but the perfectionist syndrome will hold us captive all day, every day. So we have to step into the imperfection, embrace it, and put it, like, wear it. And what? Yeah, I've screwed up. Yeah, I've done this. And what? That empowers the heck out of you.
Yep.
And it puts that resistance, that imposter syndrome on its head. And now you can step up and be the real you. That's what I'm saying is, if right now you are feeling this whole, perfectionist mindset, as Amanda said, just keep plowing through it. We all have it. So let's get into the best advice that you've received from a coach or mentor that really lit you up. And you've already shared some good nuggets, but if you could just keep delivering some more value, we'd love to hear it.
Okay, the best advice. I got so much best advice. So one of my very first business coaches, Joanna M. Green, she gave me this nugget of wisdom, which I hold on to, and it has been my defining affirmation. And so I say this affirmation every morning. So it's 3 affirmations I say, but God always gives me the best. I am a magnet for beautiful, magnificent greatness. But this is the one she gave me, was people can't wait to love you and help you. And that was exactly what I needed at exactly the right time. And I needed to hear that because with my parents, my dad is such a hard worker. He is like a hustler. He works so hard. He has an amazing work ethic, but he also has this mindset that he'll do everything for everyone else, but nobody does stuff for him. And so I carried that mindset. I inherited that mindset for the majority of my life. And that's why I DIY'd everything. I did everything myself. I didn't believe I could ask for help or anything like that because I just had this mindset that everybody just wanted to take from me. And that if I needed anything in life that I had to go after it myself. And shifting into that mindset of, people can't wait to love you and help you. Literally, I'm telling you, every single day I wake up and somebody is loving me and helping me in my business. And it feels so damn good. I just a little cute something before I came to San Francisco, I just got a gift in the mail and it was a little emerald crystal from one of my biz besties. And she was like, I just hope you attract a lot of beautiful stuff into your life because you're such a beautiful person on the inside and out. And it made me cry so much tears of joy because I just feel so supported by the people in my life. I feel very loved. I feel that if I needed anything or if I had any worries or doubts, I have a tribe that I can reach out to, and it feels damn good.
Oh man, I am loving this. Thank you. I'm probably putting money in Mickey D's pocket right now by saying that so many times during this episode. But because of that support system that you have and the old paradigm, the old mindsets that we model, right? You mentioned, we inherit through generations. And being a Latino, I am very versed
I'm
with.
a Latina.
Amen. Amen. Latinos in the house. What's up? So,
Puerto Rican.
That's right. So here's the point I'm trying to make is that we're all battling the same old belief systems, right? The same old just status quo system that we feel we're empowering. And actually we keep empowering by not stepping into something that we're truly passionate about and saying that we can make money and still do something that we absolutely love. And as a hardworking, person that came up the same way you did, I still am challenged by them to this day. And it doesn't matter what I say. If I say, yeah, I'm making money through my business online, it gets ignored. It's called selective hearing because their beliefs overpower and override anything else that happens. So no matter what, they expect me to fail. They're just just get a job like we have. Sooner or later, you'll just find one. I'm good. I'm making a living.
You're
off this.
This is it.
This is it. They don't understand. And it's not for them to understand. It's just you keep doing what you're doing. And like you said, your vibe will attract your tribe. And when you have them patting you on the back, pushing you forward, and you are so fired up and ecstatic because people are helping you, you're going to find out very quickly that your friends and your old tribe and family, it's going to take time for them to jump on board. They're not the first ones to jump on board. Trust me. So this has been good. And I want to get into the 2 to 3 steps that you recommend right now for somebody wanting to get into Forbes, wanting to write for HuffPost, wanting to get in Mind Body Green. What would those 3 steps be? Because somebody maybe is hung up right now and they want that, but they don't know where to begin.
I think step 1 is knowing yourself. Step 2 is knowing them and their brand. And then step 3 is creating a win-win situation. And so like I'll break it down even further. So step one, knowing yourself. You should know right off the back of your hand who you are, who you serve, and what's your big mission here on earth. Like, and you should know it to the point where it's so deep and it's so root consciousness level that when people hear it, they're just like, whoa, okay, damn, that person knows who they are, who they serve, and what's their big mission on earth. Because too many people go into entrepreneurship and they know the shallow end of who they are, who they serve, and what's their big mission here on earth. Like, but they need to go like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps deeper than that. Like, why did you become an entrepreneur? What was that tipping point for you? You need to like really get into that feeling space, because if you get into that deep of a brand essence, it's going to make you magnetic in this space, and you're going to end up becoming a media darling, or you're going to end up becoming someone who they pitch. And so, getting specialized, that's like a tactic, but it's one way. It's like, knowing your story, knowing your mission, knowing like when you know your ideal clients, you should know what they cry about at night. That's how deep you should know them. You should know what's on their vision board. You should know like what they think about when they're on the subway heading towards their meeting. That's how deep you should know your tribe and should know your business. So that's step one. Step two is understanding where you're pitching. So if I wanted to get into Forbes, or if I wanted to get into Mind Body Green or HuffPost or wherever, you should be reading their content and you should fully understand what type of articles the editors publish. So a good example is, let's look at Entrepreneur Magazine. Entrepreneur Magazine has like a popular articles section. You should be spending a good hour in that popular article section, really diving deep into seeing what's popular there, getting a feel for the tone on how the writers write, getting a feel for what content is really popular and what they consistently put out. And then you should pitch something that matches that, especially for a first pitch. I see too many entrepreneurs mess up where they're just like, I'm just going to post all about me and just like share something that has nothing to do with where I'm pitching. My tip for you is look at the most popular post and then try and create a post that's similar to that. Because if they already publish that one, their chances are they're going to end up publishing yours. So in the same tone and likeness of it. And then with the making sure that it's a win-win for both situations, something that I tell my clients, and this is so powerful, is you can get further. So one, there's a Dale Carnegie quote, which is you can get further in 2 months being interested in people than you can in 2 years getting other people interested in you. And how I up-level that is you can get more yeses if you can make a pitch look like a give. So what do I mean by that is think about what they need and then what you need, and then find a middle ground. So for, say, like I'm pitching someone to a podcast, that podcast wants someone who has like a lot of traffic, has a really awesome brand, and can speak really eloquently on an interview. Alrighty then, one of my clients has like a really awesome brand, can speak really eloquently, and has amazing mission. That's a perfect match for them. So you're just finding opportunities where it's like perfect matches. Like places like Forbes, Entrepreneur, all these different places, I think on average they publish like 400 articles a day. So they're really hungry for contributor content, but they're hungry for good contributor content. So the content that you put out there needs to be spell checked. It needs to have proper grammar. It needs to make sense. It needs to be something that they would actually publish.
Oh my gosh. If you're not taking notes, and this is all stuff that is basic, this is foundational level PR stuff.
Yeah.
And that's
this is like Foundations 101.
Yes.
Like in like my 6-month program, I go into so much deeper than this. So I go into like how you speak when you're in like a TV interview. So one of my good friends, he does PR for Y Combinator backed startup, and he's always getting different ambassadors on like Good Morning America, Today Show, like all these really big, like CNN, like really big places. And so like I've been collaborating with him on like coming up with this like really awesome like mastermind setup within my program. And so like the people who come through my program, they 100% become thought leaders in their space. And I tell every single client I work with, because I know with every fiber of my being that the next Tony Robbins, the next Oprah, the next Elon Musk, the next Gary Vaynerchuk, the next Steve Jobs is going to be coming out of my Facebook group and my Facebook program. I know with every fiber of my being that my coaching program is the best coaching program on the market right now. I can literally run circles around all these business coaches that are out there, all these PR publicists that are out there, and all these life coaches out there, because I know with every fiber of my being what my client needs for their consistent greatness. And that's not being cocky, that's just being confident.
Yeah, just to make it super edible for the basic stuff that we're talking about is the FOMO. I mean, it's that basic right there. You just said FOMO, fear of missing out. Make them feel like they're missing out on something if they don't accept it. Now, that's on the closing end of any kind of relationship level, especially with an editor. They have 2-3 seconds, when they're on that elite level to read a subject line and all that good stuff. So we could both sit here and talk days about this stuff. But what I really want to get into is the fact that it comes down to what you said, Amanda, is the shallow and the deep. Okay. So let's stay on that for a second. So your shallow content is not your deep content, right? For lack of better terms, when you're speaking from your deep content that only you can be the specialized subject matter expert of, you will own that space. Too many people are coming, especially when they're young in the game. Doesn't matter how old they are. It's just a matter of where they are in the game. They want to come with the shallow. Well, I want to be the Facebook, look, you have to get into your core message, your core story. That takes a lot of work, and you must be transparent. And if you're not real, you're not transparent, you're not going to tap into that deep end of your freaking content. And I get fired up about this because I run a local mastermind, and there's people that are at different levels in my mastermind. And sometimes I'm battling, Amanda, with the fact, should I put a prerequisite? Should I make it a recommendation that people have to be either elite or average and not noobs? And then I stepped back and I said, no, everybody's serving everybody. Okay. Because the noobs are learning as much as I want to pay more attention to the elite level. No, they're learning that, hey, I'm actually way farther than that person. Holy cow. Boom. Be grateful. Own it.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a sphere. It's like this ecosystem that is thriving on its own. I don't have to mess with it. They're going to teach. They're going to teach each other, and they're just going to grow. And that's what I love about it. So because of everything that we're talking about, that's why we're at this level. But your perception is your reality. So if your perception is that we are elite level, that's because we're farther along in the game. That's just perception, right? So if you're willing to put the work in and tap into your deep freaking magnetic content, get into the root of who you are and who you speak to and your brand message and all this good stuff, you're going to get further ahead than everybody else doing it freaking wrong. Cause I'm tired of everybody else following all these other gurus and having guru-itis.
And just strategies and just like, let me just throw a strategy. It's like throwing like a Band-Aid on a gaping wound. Like fix the wound first, like get the foundation first, and then you could throw on all these strategies. The reason why these strategies work is because there's a foundation beneath it. Like you need to have your brand, your message, your mission. You need to have like all this inner work beneath all these strategies,
Yes. And that inner work is exhausting because you've never freaking done it before. But when you start doing it through personal development, through understanding your brand message, like we mentioned, and the most basic thing is serving. You said this over and over again, is relationship serving. Give more than you receive. When you do that with nothing expected in return, you're planting all these great seeds out there. And if you know my story, you know I'm about planting seeds everywhere. It doesn't matter how cheesy this stuff sounds. It works. So now let's get into the next part of the episode. And thank you so much. You've given our audience a lot of meat on that bone to dissect and just chew on. And I don't know, right now I'm hoping they're full. So let's ask the next question. So my next question is, and this is different from what I usually do, Amanda. So if you could give us 20 things that you're grateful for, we would love to hear them and take your time, but give us 20 things that you're super grateful for, because I really want Thrive Nation to understand how easy it is to implement this attitude of gratitude when we focus on what we're grateful for.
Okay, I'm just going to start shooting them and you could keep count. Alrighty, so I'm grateful for my brother. He's my best friend. I'm grateful for my mom, my dad. They both instilled so much strength within me. I'm grateful for my nanny because she's really awesome and she's a badass. I'm grateful for my cousins because they're my soul sisters. I'm grateful for my biz besties. So I have really 5 amazing powerhouse female entrepreneurs that I can call up at any time, any day, and just share what's on my heart, and we can support each other, and we're always pitching each other for different opportunities. I'm grateful for every single member that's in my Facebook group because I literally see love in each and every one of their eyes, and it feels so soul nurturing to help support them. I'm grateful for my clients, my one-on-one clients. They are my biggest teachers. And so when we're in these calls together, they're learning from me just as much as I'm learning from them. I'm grateful for my dog back home. He is just the funniest little ball of fluff you will ever meet. I'm grateful for this possibilities tour that I'm on right now. So I'm just going and driving down the coast and just experiencing different miracles along the way. I'm grateful for this conversation I had with this homeless guy in Portland and how he was able to feel really safe. And we just spent an hour just talking with each other. I'm really grateful for, this library I'm in, having this podcast interview. I was looking for a quiet space with all of that stuff and this popped up. I'm really grateful for the people I'm meeting in the hostel that I'm staying at. I love meeting different travelers, and I ended up meeting this guy who worked at Airbnb, and he told me every 50 people you meet, a miracle happens, and I 100% believe that. I'm grateful for all the people that I meet along the journey. I'm grateful for my website. I think it looks damn good. I'm grateful for my mission and my message here on earth. I'm grateful that I get to write and get to share what's on my heart. I'm grateful that for Facebook Live, I get to host little Facebook Live mini classes in my group and literally share and get in live motion what my clients want. And I'm grateful for colors. I love coloring. It's my most relaxing thing. I love coloring in my bullet journal, and I call it my Zen bullet journal. I can literally just color all day.
Coloring is hot right now. Coloring is trending right now.
I am obsessed with coloring. And it's just when I'm stressed out, I'm okay, I need to color and I need to go on a nature walk. And I'm obsessed with doing really awesome bullet journal spreads and making it look super pretty and typography and all this different stuff. Ooh, I'm also obsessed with learning languages. So I've been learning Arabic from some friends in San Francisco. So marhaba.
Nice. I don't know what that means, but nice.
It means hello in Arabic.
Okay.
So Becky fam Arabi shwe shwe.
Okay.
And so I'm grateful for that. Grateful for my water bottle right in front of me. It's so pretty. It's a mint green water bottle. I'm obsessed with color right now.
See,
and it's really pretty to look at.
Man, I'm so loving this. And see, the people that are negative minded, depressed right now, they're dude, she's got to be high on something, right? But she's not. Amanda's just focused on gratitude. Do you see what happens? She is just engulfed in that. And that's how easy it is to be in this elated state of enthusiasm, giggling, smiling. And I just hope, listeners, you got something out of this episode. I'm trying to give you guys value. We're grateful that Amanda gave you value, and we're grateful she shared so much because we just got inside her world. Did you guys actually step into her world? That is, do you see how awesome this girl is? So definitely you're going to want to connect with her, right? So where can we best connect with you, Amanda?
Yeah, so you can go to my website. It's www.amandarivera.co, so amandarivera.co. And you can also go to Facebook and check out my Facebook group, Millennial Thought Leaders Mastermind Facebook group on Facebook.
Awesome. Amanda, it's been a slice, and I love when I have guests that make me giggle, laugh, and go on a little mini rant. And I enjoy this, so we definitely would love to have you back.
Yeah, no, this was so much fun. You're awesome.
Right back at you. So that has been an episode of Thrive and Beyond. Thank you for listening. And as always, keep going, keep growing, and keep freaking thriving because it's way better than just surviving. Peace.
Thanks for listening. For recaps and to claim bonus gifts, head over to thrivingbeyondpodcast.com. Keep thriving.